I still can't see you though.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tell Your Story. I'm your host, Todd Nesloni, the Director of Culture and Strategic Leadership for TEPSA, and each week I look to bring you another guest who has encouraged, inspired, or challenged me in one way or another and allow them to come on and share their story in hopes that it inspires you to tell yours. I don't know if you can see who my guest is this week, but it is a kid. And I am so excited to introduce everybody to this wonderful human being named Chelsea. Chelsea, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
You're welcome.
So, Chelsea, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Chelsea and I have an art charity.
And so, how did that art charity get started, Chelsea?
Two reasons. Number one, for my birthday, I started a charity and I'll get into that later, but one Christmas morning I received a very expensive art kit from a family friend. And I was so overjoyed then, and I thought the happiness I felt that day, everyone should have that. And another reason is because this has actually been going on for 5 years. I've been talking about it, asking my parents if I could start it because when I was little, my mom won a ticket to Barack Obama's White House Easter egg roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a bit disturbed by some homeless people. They looked so sad, and I just wanted to bring happiness to their lives by art.
I love that. Chelsea, how old are you?
I am 10 years old.
So I love that you are 10 years old and you have this big idea and these dreams and these plans. So let's talk about first the art. Have you always loved art?
I actually have. I wish I had my sketch pad. You'd be amazed at the cartoon characters I've drawn.
I bet. So when you got this art gift from one of your family friends, I mean, automatically, I'm sure you're excited to use it and thinking of all these great ways. So tell me a little bit about the charity and how that plays into the art.
Hmm. I
So
don't
what does your
exactly.
charity do?
We deliver homemade art kits to kids.
Ah, and is it kids of all ages?
Yes.
And so do you get to deliver those kits yourself?
No. Usually I have my mom or sometimes my dad with me.
Oh, but you're there when you get to deliver them.
Sometimes.
So
It
about how
depends
many
on
kits would you
school.
say y'all have gotten to deliver so far, if you had to
Over
guess?
541
Wow. And how long has your charity been in existence?
since my birthday, August 11th.
So you're only a couple months old into this whole charity business then, right? That's great. So where does the art supplies get to go? Does it go to kids in a certain state, in a certain area around where you are?
Actually, no. I've traveled around the country because there are a lot of children in need with all the
Mhm.
shootings and people being mean
Right.
when they hurt people. So, sometimes we deliver to shelters, schools, kids impacted by terrible events. I want to
Mhm.
deliver to St. Jude Children's Hospital because I know having cancer and all these different diseases is really hard for kids. So I
Right.
thought maybe I could get them through a time of such sadness.
I love that. I mean, it's so neat to find kids who care so much about other kids. So when you've got to deliver some of these art supplies, what is one of your favorite memories so far since starting Chelsea's charity?
The look on the kids' faces in El Paso, Texas, at the MacArthur Elementary, Middle, and High School. They were so
Mhm.
happy with their art kits, and that made me feel really, really happy.
I love that. Now, I'm sure you have some big ideas or some big plans for the charity. What's something that you're really excited about that's coming up?
We are going to deliver 300 kits to kids in Haiti. But
Wow.
we need a lot more donations because my mommy is going through.
So when you say we need more donations, if there's people listening or watching right now and they want to donate, where can they go to figure out how they can donate?
You could go on my Instagram, Chelsea's Charity. We're on Facebook. We created an Amazon wish list for donations. I'm not sure how to get to that, but my mommy knows all about it.
Well, I'm sure if we go to your Facebook, there's probably a link on there that will take us to Amazon. But so that's where y'all get a lot of the supplies are from Amazon then.
Yes, or you could go to our website, www.chelseascharity.com.
Awesome. See, and that's exactly where I'm going to send everybody to as soon as this is done. So Chelsea, have you now you're in school, you're probably in 4th or 5th grade right now?
Yes,
And so what is your favorite thing about school right now?
art and
Art.
math. I'm learning to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators.
Ooh, that's I taught 5th grade and 4th grade for several years, and it was math, and so I know exactly what you're talking about. And Chelsea, thinking about school and all the things that you've experienced at school, because a lot of the people who watch my show or listen, they are teachers or principals. And if there was
Oh,
one thing you wanted more teachers to understand, what would you say your one thing be you'd want them to understand?
well, what do you mean by that?
What do you wish more teachers knew about kids?
Sometimes if they look at kids, they either see wonderful little angels or they see some kids have a harder time in class. But
Mhm.
all they need is a little happiness if you show them um, a little kindness that can go a long way for them.
Oh, that is perfect. So, Chelsea, if what do you want to be when you grow up?
Um, well, I started writing graphic novels when I was 3 years old, and I'm getting very good. I'm getting some real material here, and
Uh-huh.
my dad found me a publisher. So,
Oh, great. So, what do you like to write about?
superheroes, animal, human hybrids. Um, I'm looking into horror stories. I like writing
Ooh,
picture books.
that's a lot of great variety. So do you like to read books as well?
Yes, I love books. You should see my room.
What's
All
one of your favorites? If you were going to say, "Oh my gosh, everybody should read this book," what's one of those books that you'd pick?
hmm. I'm torn between Overcomer, I don't know the author, and
Hmm.
Wild Robot by Peter Brown.
Oh, have you read the second one, The Wild Robot Escapes?
No, my teacher's gonna read that to us because I
It's so
heard that
good.
Roz is escaping and she's gonna get fixed by her master, I think.
Yeah, you've got to read it. So I like The Wild Robot Escapes even better than The Wild Robot. It was so funny and so good. And so the reason I asked that is, have you ever heard of the book series called Animorphs?
I have not. Are they about shape shifting animals?
Yeah, you mentioned animal and human hybrid kind of thing, and you made me think of it right away because when I was in 5th grade, I found the book series Animorphs and fell in love with it, and it is so good. Have you heard of the book The One and Only Ivan?
Yes, my brother loves that book.
So the author who wrote that also wrote all of the Animorphs books, and so,
Really?
mhm.
I'll look
So
into that.
So you should definitely look into that because that's my favorite book series ever. I absolutely love it. And so, you mentioned being a graphic novel artist and things like that. And I love that. I've just recently fallen in love with graphic novels. There's so many good ones out there that takes a lot of talent to be able to do that. So I think that is a great idea for you. So if thinking about this whole charity and the art and getting it out into kids, if you had unlimited money, what would you want to do the most with your charity?
Oh my gosh, unlimited money. Hmm. I would start adding more into the art kits, and that would make it easier for the shipping expenses
Yeah.
when it comes to mailing things. Um, hmm. Let me think more about that. I would probably add in a homemade meal in a container, or like add some soup cans or something inside the kits too.
Aw.
Unlimited
I
ways
love
to
that.
go a lot of ways.
I love that you think about it more than just art. Like you really look at it as serving a whole person, where it's not just you feeding their art need, but you also looking at it as I want to make sure they have food on the table as well. What do any of the other kids at school know that you do this, or any of your teachers? Do they ever say anything about what you do?
Yes, my teacher, Mrs. Sage, goes on
Mhm.
and on about how proud she is of me. My
Oh.
classmates, not so much, but they know about me.
Are you an only child?
No.
So
No, 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 no.
what do your siblings think about this?
They're really supportive.
Good. Awesome. So you mentioned getting to now when you mentioned the Easter egg hunt, it was the Easter egg hunt, right, with President
Yes.
Obama? So you actually got to go and do that?
Yes, I did. I had the time of my life, but I was still a little upset.
Yeah, and so what do you think made you the most upset when you saw those other people?
I can't really remember. All I remember was me crying because everyone looked so sad, and I just want everyone to be happy.
Well, what I love most, Chelsea, is that, sometimes people see things that make them sad and then they go home and they forget about it. And I love that when this impacted you, you really were like, "No, I'm going to do something. I want to make people's lives better." And so if there are other kids who are listening or watching today and they have big dreams, kind of like your dream, what advice would you give to those other kids to go after their dreams?
Um, I would say, hmm, I think I would say take care of others before you take care of yourself.
Mm. I like that. So, Chelsea, as we end out this conversation and wrap this up, there's one question that I want to ask you. And that is, no matter who's listening today, the one question I always end when I do all of my interviews are if there was one thing that you wish more people in the world understood, what would your one thing be that you wish more people understood?
That, excuse me for a moment.
Yeah, you're fine.
Well, I do think that I know there's many numerous religions, but
Hmm.
I think I want people to know that God will keep you safe. God loves you very much, and I think do unto others as you would have them do to you. Um,
I love that. I think that is beautiful. And you know what? This time of the year, especially, that's exactly the kind of message we need out there. And we need that kind of message coming from kids just like you. Chelsea, you are doing incredible work. I love what's going on. If people want to find you, like you said, y'all can go on Instagram and follow Chelsea's Charity. You can find her on Facebook. You can also go to their website, chelseascharity.com, and go and figure out ways that you can donate and support kids who can get great art supplies to pursue their dreams, all because of a young girl named Chelsea who saw a need and wanted it to happen. So, Chelsea, thank you so much for all that you're doing.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you, everybody, for listening or watching another episode of Tell Your Story. Remember, you can check out past episodes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts, it's there. I hope today's conversation, especially with a kid doing great things in the world, has inspired and encouraged you as much as it has inspired me, and that you get out there and tell your story. Because if a 10-year-old can get on here and tell her story, you can get out there and tell yours too.